Hi there, I'm Mr. Kaplan, Mr. J's friend who's a math teacher. As you can see, or hear, I'm quite a bit older than him. I have a Diet Coke right here in case I get thirsty. And he said not to go too fast, so interspersed in these lessons will be some jokes. So in any case, here is a pattern on your worksheet of 2 to the 6th, which if you use your calculator, although it says no calculator, is 64, and 2 to the 5th is only 32, and you're supposed to look for the pattern going from 64 to 32 to 2 to the 4th, 16, to 2 to the 3rd. You probably notice that these are getting 1 less, to 4, to 2 to the 1 is 2, and hopefully you see that you were dividing by 2, and 2 to the 0 is 1, and you want to remember that anything to the 0 is 1. So like Mr. J to the 0 is 1. And then we're still going down 1, and 2 to the negative 1 is 1 divided by 2, usually known as 1/2. And 2 to the negative 2 is 1 over 2 to the 2, or 1 over 4, again divided by half. So we're getting the idea of what something to a negative power is. And 2 to the negative 6, it looks like Mr. J made a mistake, and this should have been 2 to the negative 3, which is 1 over 2 to the 3, which is 1 over 8. And he probably didn't make a mistake. That was a joke. So maybe you want to see what that is. And this is the rule of what something to a negative power means. It means if it's in the numerator, you swing it down to the denominator. It goes from upstairs to downstairs and becomes to a positive power. So let's go through these 6 problems, A, B, C, D, E, and F, which you can see. So 5 to the negative 2, you want to get the idea that that just means 1 over 5 to the 2nd. And you may leave your answers in proper exponent form, so that looks good, although we do want to know that that's 1 over 25. So B, there's 2 ways to do it. One of them is you could see that 3 to the 0 is just 1, the plain number 1, not the number 3 to the 1. And 3 to the negative 5 is just like the one above, 1 over 3 to the 5th. And you could simplify that and make it 1 over 3 to the 5th. The other way to approach this would be to add the exponents, just like we know that x squared times x to the 4th is x to the 2 plus 4. We could add the exponents negative 5 and therefore make it 1 over 3 to the 5th. Thank you, Mr. J. And C, if you see it, I want you to remember that x to the 2nd to the 4th power means we multiply those x to the 8th. You probably remember maybe it was another teacher showing you this. X squared to the 4th is x squared 4 times. So on C, we just need to multiply the exponents. So 2 times negative 5 is negative 10, and 7 to the negative 10 is 1 over 7 to the 10th. And D, well, just like when we have a negative exponent like on here, or on here, or on here on A, B, or C, that's in the numerator, we bring it downstairs and make it a positive exponent. On D, when we have a negative exponent in the denominator, we make it a positive exponent. So that's 5 to the 4th. And we could leave it like that, although if I'm not too old to forget, I think that's 1350. And E looks really complicated, and I think I said anything to the 0 is just 1, so I'm going to be done with E. And as I'm getting ready to finish, I want to mention that your textbook actually has my name in it, because when it was first being published 23 years ago, I used it. I piloted it. I used it for my classes a long time ago, before you were born. So there's a few different ways to approach F. I could think of 2 different ways. One of them, I'm going to call it M1, or method 1. I'm going to simplify what's in parentheses, and I think you've learned that x to the 8th over x to the 2nd, that when we're dividing exponents which have the same base, we can subtract the exponent. So I'm going to do that here. 6 to the 2nd over 6 to the negative 3. I'm going to subtract them and get that to be 6 to the 5th. For those of you who need this, to subtract negative 3 is usually 5. And then I'm going to take that to the negative 4th, and I multiply 5 times negative 4 and get negative 20. And remember that that is 6 to the 20th. 6 to the 20th is a very big number. 1 over 6 to the 20th is about 0. A second method might be, would be to rewrite F as 6 to the 2nd to the negative 4th over 6 to the negative 3 to the negative 4th, which you are allowed to do that. In fact, a problem you may have done or not is if you had 2/3 to the 4th, you could rewrite this as 2 to the 4th over 3 to the 4th. In any case, if you did this method 2, you'd go 2 times negative 4, negative 8. I'm actually worried that I'm going to get a different answer than method 1. And negative 3 times negative 4 is 12. And then I have to do my division. 6 to the negative 8th over 6 to the negative 20th is 6 to the negative 8 minus 12, otherwise known as 6 to the negative 20th, which is the same as this. So in any case, it's been a pleasure being your teacher, and you guys rock, and I'll see you one day this week.